Well, welcome to another episode of The Minority Voice. I'm the host, Jeff Vega, and as usual, I want you to like it, share it, and follow it. And we're on YouTube at The Minority Voice. We're also on Rumble. You can check us out. And of course, on Facebook on the Michigan Conservative Minority. So today's first episode is on the Trump acquittal. Now, we all knew he was going to be acquitted of this because we knew it was nothing more than a kangaroo court. My only observation was going to be how many Benedict Arnolds were there going to be. And it turned out to be 7. And of course, you had the likely suspects, the Romneys, the Collins, the Murkowskis. But there was a few somewhat surprising. And so what I want to do today, I'm going to show you a couple videos so you can put in your arsenal, because one of the things that we have to do moving forward as you expand your network and your tribe to individuals, we need to have data where we can show them how the media has played them. And the first video I want to show you is how the Democrats back in 2016, when Trump won, they protested the election at the Senate, and so check this video out.
I have an objection because 10 of the 29 electoral votes cast by Florida were cast by electors not lawfully certified.
I object to the votes from the state of Wisconsin, which should not be legally certified.
Mr. President, I object to the certificate from the state of Georgia on the grounds that the electoral votes were not.
Debate. There's no debate.
And I object to the certificate from the state of North Carolina.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina.
So you see, all these Democrats was protesting the outcome of the election. So know this, that what Trump did was what the Democrats do. Now, the second one I want to point out to you, I want you to look at, is the Democrats inciting rioting throughout the year. You know, how this is what they used on Donald Trump, saying that he incited the rioting. But check this video out and look at these individuals.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
You got to be ready to throw a punch. You have to be ready to throw a punch.
Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
Feel like punching him.
I'd like to take him behind the gym if I were in high school.
If we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take him out now.
Okay. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
And you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
So you see, there's a whole host of Democrats who were calling for violence. So in 2022, are we gonna impeach some people here? I think Kamala Harris, she was one of the videos. Do we impeach her? I think tit for tat should be. And when we look at this whole thing, we have to realize that this was a farce. Never forget that. And I'm going to share with you a little bit later today on what the real motive behind all this was. And even though it was Trump, but they were really coming after us. So the second issue I want to talk about is the backlash. And I kind of like this because immediately the GOP in Louisiana, they censored Senator Casey. And you know what? If we're going to have an impact, this is what we have to do. Because you see, these Benedict Arnolds, they have to be called out and they have to be challenged. And I was glad to see that Louisiana did that. And, they had already did SAS in Nebraska. And you know what he actually said? He said, censor me again. And that was his attitude. And, you know, in the House, you know, they went after a couple already. Liz Cheney out of Wyoming, she got censored. And a congressman out of South Carolina, Tom Rice, the state GOP censored him too. And to a little less extent, here in Michigan, you know, we had 2 state reps, U.S. reps that voted for impeachment. You had Peter Myers and you had Fred Upton. Well, they tried to do Peter Myers, but it didn't work. But 3 counties in Fred Upton's district voted to censor him, and that's a good thing. So, and you're going to know both these guys will be, and they should be primaried, because, you know, one of the things we have to do is we have to clean up our own backyard. You know, so often I hear people say, you know, this senator or this congressman from this other state, you know, they're trash, they're garbage. But you know what? We give our own a free pass. And these guys don't need to have a pass, these 2 individuals. And I hope that the GOP take a serious look at these guys and say, you know what? You're not the future of Michigan. And if you don't step aside, you know, we'll primary. And let me say something too about this censoring stuff. You know, I'm glad they did it, but don't think for one moment that these individuals really care, because it's like once they get into power, they know to get voted out from their own party is very difficult, because one of the things happen is they circle their wagons, they protect themselves. And you know, here in Michigan, you know, I guess last week, Hillsdale County decided that they were going to censor their state senator, which happens to be the majority leader, Mike Shirkey. And you know what he said? He says, I don't give a shit. And that just goes to show you their attitude once they get in, that they don't give a shit. You can do what you want. They're elected. And he happens to be term limited out. But I hope this is the end of at least his political career for any higher aspirations. Hopefully it will be. But you know what? The reality is he'll probably latch on to some lobbying firm and start making 6 digits a year and shortly become a millionaire. Well, the third issue this week. I'll just give you a couple videos. One, we can't let a Monday go without doing a recap of Jen Psaki. And kudos to Steve Doocy's son, who happens to be in the press briefing. You know, his Steve, he's on Fox and Friends in the morning. Well, he owned Jen in this. Check out this video.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. I do have a question on COVID, but first on energy. When is it that the Biden administration is going to let the thousands of fossil fuel industry workers, whether it's pipeline workers or construction workers, who are either out of work or will soon be out of work because of a Biden EO, when it is and where it is that they can go for their green job? And that is something the administration has promised. There is now a gap. So I'm just curious when that happens, when those people can count on that.
Well, I'd certainly welcome you to present your data of all the thousands and thousands of people who won't be getting a green job. Maybe next time you're here, you can present that.
But you said that they would be getting green jobs, so I'm just asking when that happens. Richard Trumka, who is a friend, longtime friend of Joe Biden, says about that day one Keystone EO, he says, I wish he, the president, had paired that more carefully with the thing that he did second by saying, here's where we are creating the jobs. So there's partial evidence from Richard Trumka.
Well, you didn't include all of his interview. Would you like to include the rest?
So how about this? The Laborers International Union of North America said the Keystone decision will cost 1,000 existing union jobs and 10,000 projected construction jobs.
Well, what Mr. Champaka also indicated in the same interview was that President Biden has proposed a climate plan with transformative investments in infrastructure and laid out a plan that will not only create millions of good union jobs, but also help tackle the climate crisis. And as the president has indicated when he gave his primetime address to talk about the American Rescue Plan, he talked about his plans to also put forward a jobs plan in the weeks or months following. And he has every plan to do exactly that.
But there are people living paycheck to paycheck. There are now people out of jobs once the Keystone Pipeline stopped construction. It's been 12 days since Gina McCarthy and John Kerry were here, and it's been 19 days since that EO. So what are these people who need money now? When do they get their green jobs?
Well, the president and many Democrats and Republicans in Congress believe that investment in infrastructure, building infrastructure that's in our national interests and that boosts the U.S. economy, creates good-paying union jobs here in America and advances our climate and clean energy goals are something that we can certainly work on doing together. And he has every plan to share more about his details of that plan in the weeks ahead.
You know, they talk about all these green jobs. Well, you just laid off 10,000 plus individuals that by shutting down this pipeline. Where's the jobs? And, you know, she tried to play it off. It didn't work. And she got schooled. So, you know, thank you, Jen. There's some more that we'll show next week. Second video. Now, this has to be the video of the week. Kudos to this mama bear. The backstory is this mom, she went out to the store in the morning. She come back. To her surprise, there was a peeping Tom looking in her daughter's window. She called the police. Police showed up. The guy started running, and he started running towards her, and you look and see what happens.
Dominique, that mom had just returned home from the store around 7 o'clock in the morning when she saw a man in her yard. She says he was able to get away from 2 officers, but not from her. Even if you think you can run from the cops, good luck getting past this mom.
I figured at least I could do if I got them down, tripped them up, whatever, then they, have a chance to get caught up.
That's Phyllis Pena in the red shirt.
First instinct was just to make sure he didn't go any further.
Captured on police dash cam, taking down a man she says was trying to look into her 15-year-old daughter's bedroom window early on a Sunday morning.
My kids are my life, and, just making sure I protect them pretty much.
This woman, she's a rock star. Man, did you see how she squared her shoulders up? She lined up his hips, and boom, she took this dude right out. And, I'm from Michigan, for those of you who are watching this that don't know. Our Detroit Lions, we got a new coach. Maybe you should take a look at this video and invite her in for a tryout. I don't know. Sounds like a plan. What do you think? Well, hey, thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you the next time. And remember, Joshua 24:15.